Hey guys, this is Annetta Caldwell from the Flames Ministries. I just wanted to get on here for a minute. I just started this podcast last week after my 700 Club interview went out, and that was very exciting. Anyway, I wanted to get on here and do another podcast and just kind of share with y'all kind of what's going on in my life personally. My mom right now is not doing great. I've been posting about it, and I put it out online that the doctor said that it's going to be a lung infection we're dealing with and that antibiotics will help her. However, this morning I found out that they are not giving her the antibiotics that they were talking about, and that my sister said she doesn't know if my mom is gonna pull out of this. So what do you do in situations like this? What do you do when stuff, you say, hits the fan? How do you handle it? And I have prayed a lot, and I have learned that ultimately I'm not in control. I have to give everything over to Jesus, including my mom. And so right now, I'm just surrendering her to Jesus. I would love for God to supernaturally heal her, and I believe that he is giving her a little bit more time. She's a little bit older. She had me later in life, and I'm the baby. So my mom she's older, and she's had a few health scares before, and God's always pulled her out. And now this one, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. But God tells me to still keep doing what I'm doing. I still felt like I was supposed to get on here and do this podcast. And so one of the things is I just wanted to give people hope that are going through this. Like if you're someone you know is struggling and they're having a hard time with their physical health, or if somebody has recently passed, I just want there to be hope for you. My dad passed away in 2021. I think it was that August, and that was very difficult. He was healthy overall before it happened. He got the COVID vaccine, and that pretty much started a trigger of events. It was basically the COVID vaccine that caused him to pass away. But anyway, I led him to the Lord before he actually even got the vaccine, the second vaccine. And so I led him to the Lord, and he was a Muslim, and that was crazy amazing. The Lord had put it in my heart like fire in my bones, like, you gotta tell your dad. And that was a couple months before he actually passed away. And so I know what it means to grieve. I know the process. I know it's hard, and I'm pretty close to my mom. And so this is something that it just hits a little different. I mean, I was with her all the time when I was younger, and she taught me a lot about ceramics, about art, and she would take me places all the time. She was somebody that, I don't know, she would just tell me she loves me, and she would give me hugs, and I love my mom's hugs. They were just like amazing. Like I could just feel love just oozing through me when she gives me hugs. And I've seen her a couple of times in the last few years, because it's kind of pricey to go from Virginia all the way to Texas. And so I got to see her a couple of years ago, and that was a super happy time. And I got to braid her hair, and I got to bond with my brothers and my sister, and it was an amazing time. And I don't know, it's hard to think that, that death comes, and I want her to have more years. I don't know what's going to happen. And like I said, I'm on this podcast in the middle of this because I felt like the Lord wanted me to get on here while I'm in the middle of this happening. And to tell you guys, even in the middle of this, God can give you peace. So I am learning how to surrender, how to trust God, even when things are not going the way I want them to, or even when they're hard. And I just wanted, like I said, I want to give you guys hope that if you're going through something like this, to cry out to Jesus, and to not be afraid to ask for prayer. I've been asking for prayer from people online. I've been asking for prayer from my friends and from my prayer shield. And my husband's been a great support. And I've been able to lean on people. But most of all, there's a hope that I know that one day when she does pass away, that I will see her again. So this is not the end of life. And that can help you know that there's hope. Like I'm going to see my dad again one day. My uncle passed away not too long ago. I'm going to see him again. He's a Christian, also. And if you haven't accepted Jesus, if you haven't let him have your life, I encourage you to let him, because one day all of us, no matter how healthy, no matter how young, no matter how old, all of us are going to have an eternity either with him or without him. And so if you haven't accepted Jesus, I just encourage you to accept him today, to say, God, I surrender my life. Whether your life is hard right now and you're going through grief, or whether your life is, it seems perfect and you have all that you want, one day those things will go away. One day the riches will go away. They can't go with you when you die. One day the fame will dissipate. And me showing me that even if you get up there and you have, everybody knows who you are, notoriety, that's not even going to last. You can't put your hope in that. I mean, I had a couple of times where I was like, ooh, this is, my story's getting out there. It's only temporary. If my hope is all in notoriety, then I'm going to be a miserable person, because one day it'll be taken away. Same with riches. Same with friendships. Like if your hope is all in your friends and not in Jesus, one day that could be taken away. And then what do you have? You're always going to end up in a place where you have to decide, are you going to accept Jesus, let him into your life, and know that you have eternity with him, not something you earn. Like there's a lot of religions out there. There's a lot of people that say you have to do this. You have to pray 3 times a day. You have to deny your flesh. We do deny our flesh as Christians, but saying that you have to do all these things though to get to a place where you might get to heaven. You empty yourself of all these thoughts. Buddhism teaches you these things. Or you have to do a lot of good works. If you're a philanthropist and you go out and you do all these things for the poor, you won't get to heaven with that, because what Jesus came to do was make our sinful self right with him, because he's the only perfect one. So if you're going around thinking you can earn it, it's never going to happen. You're never going to be good enough to get into heaven. I'm never going to be good enough to get into heaven. The only thing that can get me to heaven is Jesus. He says, no one comes to the Father except through me. There's only one way to heaven. There's not multiple ways, regardless of what the world says. There's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus. And the quicker you accept it, the quicker you can have the abundant life, even in the middle of crazy hard things. And I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt when you go through things. Like right now, the other day I spent probably, maybe an hour or 2 crying. But the thing is that I was crying and I felt Jesus was with me through it. And even afterwards, there can be hope knowing that I'm going to see her again one day when eventually that does happen. So right now we're in the middle of this battle. She's in the hospital. We don't know what's going to happen. There was a miracle that a doctor found that it was a lung infection. However, I got news today, like I said, that things are not necessarily going well. My mom's not looking good again. So what do you do? It's a roller coaster. So I got to put my trust and my hope in Jesus and know that he's the only consistent thing. And he's the only one that will never leave nor forsake you. God told me that the other day. It's like, I'm not going to leave you or forsake you. You're not going to be an orphan, right? Because my dad already passed away. And then when my mom passes away, it's kind of that feeling of, oh, I'm alone. But I'm not, because I have Jesus. I have somebody with me that will never leave me, or he'll never forsake me. And so that means even unto death, even when I eventually get to the point where I'm coming to meet him, he will be the one that's with me. I can't bring all the stuff that has happened here, I can't even bring my own family with me. I mean, I pray and I ask God to lead them to him, but one day it's only going to be me and him. So what is that going to look like? And so anyway, I know this is a longer podcast, but I just want to encourage you guys today, whether you're struggling or whether you're having an amazing life, to spend a second and just examine your heart and say, where am I with the Lord? Who is he? And have I accepted him? And do I know that one day I will spend eternity with him? Or do I think that one day I'll spend it without him? And if you could imagine, spending it without him will be without any goodness. Hell is not, I mean, I think it's a scary place, but the biggest thing is that you will not have any peace or any joy or any of the good things that are in your life. It'll be devoid of it. And if you can imagine the darkest place where you have nobody and your loneliest place in life, you can think about that. That's times 1,000,000 is what hell would be like. And so heaven is imagining the best place, the place where you have felt the most peace, the most joy in your life, times 1,000,000. And so God gives us the choice if we're going to choose him or if we're going to choose not him. And so anyway, those are just some questions to ponder. Those are some things in my heart today. And I just encourage you guys to look up, look to him. And if you think about it, keep me in your prayers along with our family. And I hope you have an amazing day. Love you guys.